You'd think I know how to use my sources by now. Good morning. Ooh, man. Allergy season. It's killing me. Daniel, good morning. Screw you. I expect to see that Reddit post. Everybody always tells me they're going to do something. They're like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. Oh, I'm going to do that thing. And the problem is nobody ever follows through. Like Vance and trying to destroy my reputation on Facebook, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, or whatever he's trying to do, right? Like, do it already. Just destroy my reputation. I gave you permission. Let's see it happen. Yeah, I don't know if we'll have brunch next week. It depends. Her birthday's on Saturday. I'm thinking there's a possibility I might drive 3 hours up, do the birthday party thing, and then drive the 3 hours home. Not specifically because of brunch, but I'm up in the air about what I'm going to do next week. So just wanted to give you guys a little bit of notice that there was very likely to be a sad hole in your Sunday mornings. Let's see. Hot. I learned I have a fetish for figuring things out. Oh my God. That's, oh. Gross. So gross. My thoughts on the raid update. I mean, look, when we got and yes, please, guys, questions, conversation this morning, because literally there's nothing going on in game. When we got the original raid update, which not the text update, but the original update to how the raid runs, it was obviously theorized that there was a delay. Zareth was recently on Three Scoundrels. I love the Scoundrels. I'm constantly on the Scoundrels. And he kind of made the point that he thinks that something went wrong with whatever they were developing, and they had to scrap it and start something over. And I think that theory holds a lot of weight and that it makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying that I am responsible for this raid update, but I am saying that about a week after the original raid changes, I did reach out to Meathead on Discord and I said, hey, is there any chance, is there any opportunity, can we expect any update from CG in relation to whether or not we should continue adding gear to players, to characters. And obviously he not gaslighted me, he completely ignored me, he ghosted me, which is what he normally does when he doesn't want to talk about the game. But I'd like to think that I put the seed in his ear, as gross as that sounds. Maybe one person. Drop 100 notes to run, make 100 people on the panel walks out. I don't want to get into the politics of it, but I do find it very funny, Hot. Oh man. I was at my in-laws yesterday, and my father-in-law is very political, and I don't like talking about politics. Let's see how fucked we are today. Oh my God, we are proper fucked. That is okay. That's all right. That's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. Look at all this shit. I don't have anything else that's gonna take any of this shit out. So I'm gonna have to rely on the guild to do more here, because I've already taken out my share. Godzilla, good morning. I haven't seen you in a little bit. So how are you today? We've got 9 minutes till the store refresh. I am so fucked on signal data right now. I have been upgrading basically everything just for my fight with Phatphil, and I need to get these fuckers to R8, and I've got nothing. I need the CCB packs. I have, I think, less than 100 CCBs. Carbonate circuit boards. I don't know why I'm calling them CCBs. Where are they? Oh, they're actually in my daily deal. Look, I have 166. Like, that's nothing. I have heard that Crosshair has less Kyrotex than anybody else. I honestly, I don't look at those things on my own just because I'm at a different level of the game. And, you know, like, I always have the gear to upgrade I always have the gear to upgrade characters, so I don't even look. I bring new I know it's so out of touch, and I know everyone's like, oh, those fucking content creators, they don't know what they're talking about. I always just bring them up because, I mean, I'm gonna bring them past G11 eventually anyway, so I don't even look. I let my brain rest. I wanted to marry my English teacher when she got out of jail, but apparently you can't end a sentence with a preposition. I actually know people who dated their teachers and then they went on to get married, and you know, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Bounty event today. Let's see. Is this the one that has useful things for people? No, this is the one that you can just get anything and it doesn't matter. I do think the Crosshair thing is, you know, it's nice. It's nice for the people who need it, obviously. But, like, where are my Kyrotex? In my store. Like, I don't need Kyrotex. I've basically stopped farming them, except for the fact that I am going for Ahsoka. So, you know what? Let's do some of her tiers while we're on stream, just so that I can get them over with. And I have to wait for my store refresh anyway. Hey, Raina. I don't think I've seen you here in a few weeks either. But good morning. Welcome back to Brunch. I hate this battle. It's so boring. It's so long and unnecessarily long. That's why I think these GL things need to, they need to be simmable after the first one, but not enough of you backed me up on that. I know who you are. I'm very aware of who you are. I'm just saying I haven't seen you join in a little bit. I remember everybody. I did see the 30-day calendar. It is not tempting to me, but I see why it would be tempting. It does look, I did not do any math on it, but it does look like it's gonna have a pretty decent value for people. We could take a look at it in a second because I have to go buy tickets. I hate this battle. Like, it's so stupid. Yeah, I was looking at the calendar yesterday, and it does look, like I said, it looks good. It's just, there's nothing in it that I feel, especially I've spent about $50 in the last month. Oh, good morning, Fee. Well, we're fucked. You're gonna win. We're losing that battle. We were actually just looking at the TW board. We're not a TW guild. We have a lot of people who just do not care. We have a few people that want to make us a TW guild, and it's just, that's never gonna happen. Look at this shit. You guys are kicking our ass. I do not see a turnaround on this board unless enough people wake up to break this wall. And we're actually fairly close to breaking this wall, so we probably will break that one. But I don't have any hope of winning. Let's see. One thing I did notice, it seems like somebody had said that this seemed to be copied over from something else. And is not correct. This whole, like, description over here. But it looks good. I mean, $24, you get 500, 600, 750, 850, 950, 1,000. You get 2,000 crystals, right? So 2,000 crystals. And I didn't know I was doing math today. Divided by 165. That's about $12 in value right there. At the highest level of value. 10 Zetas, 15, 18. So basically a full Zeta for the most part. A third of an Omicron. Decent Chirotech. A little bit of energy. If I were not a poor educator and had money and were in the mid game, I would buy this. And I can definitely see people buying this. I wish it was more signal data. Like, if this were a signal data calendar, I would have without a question. Let's see. My last GAC, I got smoked by somebody because, and very sadly, my Seer Malikos team could not beat their Ray Ezra team, which really sucked because I was relying on that counter. And if it had won, I definitely would have won the match. So I was a little annoyed by that because I could have gone 5 in a row. I can buy more with crystals. I don't have any more signal data. There's going to be a refresh of the store, like literally right now, but I don't have enough signal data to, or shard shop currency to buy more. I don't really want to spend crystals right now, though, because I mean, I need them. Next week, we're going to be getting, I'm assuming we're going to be getting those 500 crystal packs, and I just need them so much. I need lots of them. I need to buy, like, all of those packs. I need CCBs. I need bronzium wirings. I need electrium conductors. Those are going to go really fast. So I need to save my crystals. And there's really, like, right now, there really isn't any reason for me to speed up, to speed this up anymore. I wanted to speed it up a little bit so that I could test her in TB next week, because I need practice with her for, you know, my battle with Phatphil. But there's no GAC lock next week. So with only 2 more needed, I should be able to get that by the day that I need her in TB, which is Wednesday. Let's see what's going on here. GL Leia counters. In threes, I mean, I use SLKR too. Let's see. Leia, Organa, counters, Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. I don't know. I just use .gg's shit. Leia, Bane seems to work some of the time. JMK seems to work some of the time. But SLKR seems to be the only, like, super reliable counter right now. And Fee, that's the most important thing to me. I don't know how much you know about me other than the fact that I am going to lose to you in TW. But autoing things in TB is the most important thing to me. My highest TB is 122 waves. And I would say that about 115 of those waves were... But 115 of those waves were on auto. That's like my whole bread and butter is just auto everything that I can. I was having this discussion actually last week with somebody where we broke down like TW or TB versus GAC Omicrons. And what it came down to for me was GAC Omicrons are reward acquisition, right? You want better rewards, you get GAC Omicrons. TB Omicrons are time savers. You don't want to waste your time, you get TB Omicrons. So for me, my team is a huge, or my time is a huge big thing for me. Router, cheers, man. Welcome to brunch at 5 in the morning. I was actually up at about 5:30 today. And then I sit in bed for a couple of hours before brunch because I don't want to get out of bed. I would love to, McKissel, do more TW, but there's really not much that I can do here. I've already done what I can for these walls. I have to rely on my guild to break them, and we'll see if that happens. Let's just see, before we get into like actually doing reviews, how my teams did. All right, so my Reva Inquisitors did all right. See down here. Where is my name? Okay, my Ray sucked there. Oh, hey, Duck. Yeah, we tried to play like 14 times with each other, and the GAC gods did not want us to play against each other. All right, Jabba at least did something for me. I know my Keller and Beck team did shit because I don't even put a Datacron on them. And I doubt my Phasma team did shit because I put Phasma here since I don't have the Omicron for TW, for DTMG. All in all, my teams did okay. Thrawn, we haven't fully discussed rules yet. We have been talking a lot over the last the last week. One rule that we did discuss, and somebody was talking about this with like Ahsoka, is how we were going to handle if the no button bug came up or if a game crash came up. And we basically both agreed that we trust each other, and if a legitimate game bug occurs that causes a loss, if it was a battle that we reasonably would have won, we'll still award those waves. That's the only rule that we have decided on right now. The other rules we are going to continue to talk about to make sure that we, so that we have a fair and a fun match between the two of us. Some people, it's very funny, somebody was saying that on Nooch's stream, they were talking about the beef between Phil and I. We are friends, guys. Like, we're friends. This is a friendly match. We're being stupid. We're being silly. We're making it like the UFC and like wrestling and going all out because it's fun for us. The rivalry is real. And it started because over the last like 2 months, we'll keep going back and forth talking about waves and how I'm better or he thinks he's better or whatever. So it did grow. It did grow organically into this fun thing. And we've heard some people think like, oh, hey, this is like two people who hate each other. But we have also seen in the community that a lot of people do understand what it is. And that we're just having some fun with it. M3 I did. I actually just finished my prescription today. I have a new prescription of it out there. But I did, and I even put it in my show notes on Discord. Yeah, Thrawn, man, it's just fun for us. And we have some stuff. We have some stuff that Moonborn is helping us make so that we can do some more graphics just to be silly. Like, it just makes the game more fun. Is it worth to spend crystals and go straight to 7-star Executor? Got 6 at the moment. Have problem to beat him at the moment. Don't have fully maxed all skills like my opponents do. Here's what I think about getting a new fleet to 7 stars automatically. Is you have to ask yourself if getting your ship to 7 stars is actually going to help you. Right? So right now, if you don't have... Like, if you cannot beat something and you reasonably believe that you'll be able to do it with 7-star and you already have the materials to max out all of your abilities, then yes, it might be worth it for you. But if you don't have the materials to max out those abilities right now and you have to still farm those things, then no, it's not going to be worth it to you. It really comes down to, is there a reward acquisition thing? Now, I don't normally do P1 mirrors, so I don't know how they run at a 7-star versus a 6-star. And I know some people like going second and some people like going first. So the best suggestion that I could make to you is go do the research, go look at some Bit Dynasty videos and see if you're doing something wrong or see if that's the only way to do it. You know, people come in with fleet questions all the time and I hate fleets. My fleets are all maxed. They're all maxed because it's just the smart thing to do. But I really, really struggle with Fleet Arena. It is definitely not my favorite place to be in the game. If you're like, hey, I don't have the prestige right now, then your 7 stars isn't really going to do much for you. You know, so it may not be worth it right now for you to do that. Let's see, my GAC. I'm playing against somebody who's bigger than me right now. I'm always... Well, I guess it's probably for Fleet Arena, just to let his people know. Let's see. He's basically... I mean, he's about the same size as me, but definitely a lot more in on the GAC Omicrons. Interesting that he has the Padawan one. Has some TW ones. Oh, he actually applies them fairly liberally because he's got the Enoch one too. Interesting. All right. Well, there's nothing going on in game, so I guess what we have is roster reviews, and we're gonna just see where we get with them today. We'll probably end up doing more than the 3 that we normally do. And for those of you that... Oh, actually, Stream Elements are already linked to my Discord. Look at that. But for those of you on YouTube, if you're on YouTube and you're not on our Discord, that doesn't make any sense. You should be there. Let's pop this game down. Let's head on over to there. Let's move this thingy to that thingy. Get Discord on up. Ba-da-da-da-da. Roster review requests. We're actually pretty far behind on these, so let's see if we can get them kind of caught up today. And move this over to here. All right, let's see. We're 32 minutes in. CopperCutters, type of review. It's so weird seeing these white names now. I'm not used to white names because we used to have that red and green system. And now we don't need it anymore, which is nice. Am I doing anything for St. Patrick's Day? Not really. No, I'm old. I'm not going out. I'm not doing shit. I went to my in-laws yesterday. We ate Irish food, but I don't really like Irish food that much. So then we went out for wings for dinner afterwards, which I do like. There's something about boiled cabbage. It's just not for me. So let's see. CopperCutters. Top 20 of your fleet, 14 of the top 20 are Leviathan Resto Executors. I'm the only profundity. Almost all Executors from that point down. I can wedge myself into the top 10, but it is getting harder and harder. Are you coordinating or talking with your fleet Discord? No, you need to. You really, like, it's such an important thing to reach out to your fleet Discord. I don't know if you've done it before and they just said no, and then that kind of sucks and you're not in a great shard. But it just makes life so much easier if people in your shard know who to attack, when to attack them, and then you don't end up getting dropped to like 30. And you'll be surprised that not every shard is like this, but sometimes, you know, shards will be like, oh, hey, we will change our, you know, fleet for you to let you get to 1. That's a little bit rare. But I've seen it done even in my shard before, where people will be like, hey, look, I got like 3 extra battles tonight. I will switch this out for you, and then I'll switch it back afterwards just to help everybody to get their rewards. Assault battles, we're fairly low on the assault battles. I love that you linked that as lover boys. I don't really like this, though. I really want to see this stuff shored up a little bit more. What are you currently working on? I played for years, then quit. Came back probably 18 to 24 months ago. In the time I quit, GLs, Kairos, and G13 relics all came to the game. I am a free-to-play player. Right now, I'm working on the Malik Farm event. I don't really have a reason. I have no overall strategy, which is why I'm reaching out to you for help. I am open to anything. Ooh. Call me later. I should be getting many of the Conquest characters in the next 2 cycles, but I really don't have a larger plan into how to incorporate them into a bigger picture. Are you dead set? Not at all. I am open to anything. I need a large-scale vision on how to effectively grow my roster in a flexible but usable manner. How highly do you value efficiency versus fun farms? I like balance. I want interesting characters that are fun to have. I value efficiency just as much. For example, the CLS team was fun to get with the characters that I like, but it is also highly usable in a lot of areas of the game. Favorite characters, I like Jedi, light side characters more, but I'm open to anything. Shard for any important characters. I'll be getting about 50% done with PG characters. I have no idea how to use them, where, when, what teams. I will have them all in 6 months. Okay, so I had this conversation with somebody in my my premium members group a few weeks ago, and actually a few months ago, and I was talking to him about assault battles and how I have literally never had to farm finishers ever because I prioritized my assault battles. And a few weeks ago, he reached back out to me and he was like, hey man, I really wanted to thank you for that advice because nobody's ever told me that before. And I was really struggling with them and spending all these crystals on them before. And now that I focused on my assault battles, like you, I don't even notice them anymore. They just accrue so quickly. Basically what I'm saying is that your assault battles are incredibly important to building out a strong account. Now, I have not looked at the account yet, but really these 5, it is a priority to get them to CT1, at least CT1. The good news is that most of them you can do with very little investment to that point, and most of these 5 actually all of these 5, you can build into greater farms. But it's really important for your finisher acquisition, for your Zeta acquisition, for your Chirotech acquisition. And right now you're leaving a lot of those materials on the table. Now, Secrets and Shadows can typically be a little bit harder and require a little bit more investment, which is why I don't typically prioritize it. The teams needed aren't as important earlier on. That shifts a little bit with Captain Rex now if you start to go for Leia, because he can do CT1 with the Phoenix. So that kind of shifts a little bit. It is nice that you already have Fanatical Devotion, and these 2 do end up becoming important later on, but I don't necessarily think that they need to be heavily prioritized early. If I had to guess with where you are in the game, I do like that you have Profundity, Military Might, Ground War. It seems like you kind of maybe are going on a JML route. Maybe that was just from Profundity, I don't know. I would say maybe, I don't know, between 4 and 6 million, somewhere in that area right now. Let's pull this up. Ooh, okay. So a lot higher. And as someone at 7.6 million, I really basically expect people to have those first 5 assault battles mostly done. When challenge tier assault battles first came to the game, I saw the writing on the wall, like pretty much immediately, and that became my priority, is get them to CT1 at a minimum. Like, it was the most important thing to me, and it has paid dividends over the years, right? It might slow down other things that you're going for, but the reality is this game is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It does take a lot of time to get through what you need to get through, and you'll end up seeing a positive return on investment relatively quickly when you think of it that way. And then it just becomes free materials for you. So let's check out what we are working with. Yeah, so Jedi Master Luke, awesome, great, love it. Now, what I will say though, I say this a lot. The big joke on my streams is farm Jabba, right? I firmly believe that Jedi Master Luke and Jabba should always be farmed one after the other. And it doesn't matter which one you do first. Some people say Jabba JML, some people say JML Jabba. It literally doesn't matter. But you should always be doing both. There is like I talk about this basically every week. There is essentially like a square of overlapping requirements, and that square is Jedi Master Luke, Leia, Profundity, and Jabba. You have 3 out of the 4 of those things. So right now, Jabba should be a priority for you as a player. He is a highly usable farm. He is a farm that'll help you in Conquest, in TW, in GAC, in TB. He's going to get you Rebel Roundup, which is something you currently have as a 0. He will help you bring that up to CT3. So basically, this is exactly the type of farm that you are currently looking for as a player. Yeah, let's take those away. You're not terribly far away. Hey, Moonman. Good morning. I feel like I haven't seen you in a bit either. You're not terribly far away from this. Let's see, where's Cursitan? Cursitan, do you not have him unlocked yet? I guess maybe not even unlocked yet. I would say that with everything that you have going on here, you probably will not need to shard refresh any of these farms. The only one that's going to be tough, obviously, is Cursitan, because he is a Cantina farm. I think Aura Sing might be a Cantina farm as well. I don't 100% remember. I'm going to stall and talk while I go into game to take a look at that. Bounty Hunters, Aura Sing. Yeah, she is a Cantina farm as well. So those two are definitely going to hurt a little bit. What about Skiff? No, Skiff is not a Cantina farm, right? They wouldn't have done that. Let's see, Scoundrels. Let's just do Hot Cartel. That'll be easier. Yeah, he's a light side farm or a dark side farm or whatever. It kind of sucks that you're gonna have to put a lot of Cantina energy into this right now, but it is going to solve your assault battle problem with Rebel Roundup, and it is going to vastly improve your mods with Smuggler Run 2. And like I said, it will help you in Conquest with a really strong team that is not Ufu Jedi Sith, right? He is a GL, so you can't use him in don't use GL battles. But he is kind of like the extra padding on that Leia team, which is also not a Jedi Sith Ufu team. I use him very, very, very often in Conquest. I would highly, highly, highly recommend this being your next farm. Let's see. I want to look at this profundity. Okay. Now, what I will tell you, and I said this earlier in the stream, I am not an amazing fleet player, and I really urge you to do your own research on this. But I have been told that the profundity battle using the Mark 6, which I'm assuming you don't have maxed out yet, still works in order to get, in order to beat Leviathans, right? I cannot confirm that, but it is something that I would say look into to maybe help you break past that top 5. Into the top 10 more easy, into the top 5 more easy to build those fleet crystals. Hey, Allie. And I guess C squared. You two, both of you, I guess. Really more Allie, because I like when I can fight with people on Phatphil's server. It's something that I would just look into, because I do really want you to focus on Jabba right now, but I would also love for you to be able to do a little bit more with your fleets. I want to check your troopers. This is interesting. Veers, Stark. You have Piet yet? No Piet yet. Soper, I took my medicine. I did it. I have been remembering over the, and it's vitamins. It's not really medicine, but I have been remembering. What's interesting is you have Fanatical Devotion at CT2. I guess you just have GI. I'm surprised that GI can't do, or presumably can't do, CT1 of Forest Moon. Because I know Riva can do CT3. So I am a little bit surprised by that. It might be a modding issue. It might be that your speeds are kind of low. And to that regard, I would maybe consider the next time Forest Moon comes around, just trying to put your fastest mods on your Inquisitors, and just seeing what works and see if it helps. Because I just have this feeling that at least CT1 you should be able to beat. We just need to get rid of things like this cross that has no speed on it. And while I understand needing to use like this 9-speed diamond for assault battles, typically you're gonna need faster speeds because of the preloading. So even just for the event itself, I would really strongly advise trying that. Now, if it doesn't work, you are one Imperial Trooper away from being able to do Forest Moon at like CT2, CT3 with Veer, Stark, Piet, right? And that's the missing one right now. Snow Trooper and Range Trooper. And if you remod them all really fast, you'll be able to do Forest Moon at a minimum at CT1. But I did it at CT3 with very little relicking. It all just comes down to speed. And that'll shore up the assault battles for you that you're really having trouble with right now. Allie, no, I'm not sick. I do have allergies. I have pretty bad allergies, but I am in my late 30s now, and I've been told by my doctor that I need to take vitamin D pills every week. And so the stream likes to remind me to take my vitamin D pills. I didn't know you were in New York, though. I'm in North Jersey, and I grew up in New York. And next week, when I go up to my niece's, I'll be up in Saratoga. So I know the state pretty well. I want to look at these Jedi, because your ground war you should be doing at CT3. And if you're not already doing it, maybe you fixed this in the weeks, because you posted this on 2/24, so almost a month ago. Maybe you fixed this up. But what you want to do is you want to do a super, super slow Jedi Knight Luke, no speed mods as the leader. Right, no speed mods with him as the leader. Right now, your mods for Jedi Knight Luke are kind of confused, because there's a separation between like, hey, really high speed and no speed at all. Right? You kind of have to decide, do I want him as the leader or do I not want him as the leader? And God, Daniel, I knew someone was going to make that joke. God damn it. For this assault battle, you want him as the leader. So you want to take all the speed off of him. And then you want to throw Jedi Master Luke in there. I would throw Revan in there. Cal Kestis might work really well in there. And I would say Hermit Yoda. If Cal Kestis doesn't work, then I would just throw in General Kenobi. And the idea is you use the called special ability so that Jedi Knight Luke can speed limit everybody. Then you stun everybody. Then you make your way through the round, and you finish every single round calling the granted ability, so that every single round Jedi Knight Luke can start with his stun. And you should be able to get through places of power, ground war, relatively easily at CT3. Same thing really with Rebel military might, You know, Commander Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, 3PO, like you have the squad. Where's C-3PO? Maybe you don't have the squad. No C-3PO? Am I just missing? Oh, you do have C-3PO. What the fuck? You have the squad to do military might at CT3, but I'm going to give you a pro tip here that not everybody knows. If you take Chewbacca out of the lineup, in level 1, you do the event special on everybody, and then just hit auto. And you should be able to do military might at CT3 with no problem. Like, I've had people message me and say, hey, my Mon Mothma is like G10 and has no Zetas, and it worked. So you should be able to do it that way. But let's take a greater look at what's going on here, shall we? I want to check out these lover boys. Where are we at? Okay, 4 stars and 3 stars. Normally, I would recommend getting them to 5 stars to double up on the tiers. However, you have so many Cantina farms coming up with Jabba that I'm not going to recommend that you do that right now. As far as PG stuff, you have Ben Solo, good. I mean, I don't know what Proving Grounds characters you have coming up, but based on where you are in the game and based on the ones that are earlier in the Proving Grounds and the fact that you already do have Ben Solo, there aren't really any that I can think of that would be like mandatory for you, or worth building up, because I'm assuming characters like Dark Ray, and like Bane, like, are not going to really be in your purview right now. Yeah, but Glass, I don't remember every requirement for every character. Like, I'm not a savant. Some of you guys have really great memories, and I don't. That's not me at all. I have a fucking terrible memory. Let's check out some of this stuff real quick. I want to know how far away you are from Malgus and Fury class, because I can definitely see a world where you go after Jabba and then immediately go into a Leviathan. I could definitely see that happening for you with where you are in the game. It'll really help you with fleets. It's definitely worth considering, but I don't know where you are with Malgus and Fury class. I would say that if those two are in your I can get these in 6 months thing, then I would do that. I would do Jabba into Leviathan, and that'll kind of help you with the Malak event that you're already doing. And I don't want to go any further than that, because we're talking also about these assault battles, and I really want you to get up I really want you to get up to snuff with those things. So I do hope that all of that helps. Allie, listen, here's the thing. Where is it? There it is. Game. There we go. I school Phatphil every TB. Every fucking TB, I beat his waves. Sometimes it's only by like 1 wave. Sometimes it's by like 10 waves. But I rock the shit out of him. And his dumbass needed to do Ahsoka on stream, so he had to spend all of his fucking crystals like a dummy. I've got 37,000 crystals to spare, and I've already made it very perfectly clear to him I am willing to go broke. I'm so willing to go broke on crystals in order to make sure that I beat him. My 122 waves is better than any wave count he has ever done. And don't let him fucking fool you with his, my guild doesn't let me do Zepho battles. Because one, his guild is just doing shit in a stupid way, and I let him know that, and I proved it to him with screenshots of my guild that's worse than his. And two, he's already come up with a plan with his guild to allow him to do those things on those days. He is not going to win. It is not going to happen. I am not letting his scrub ass beat me in TB. Right? It's not going to happen. And he has, like, people like fucking Wombat who's like, I'm going to send him so much money so that he can buy all the shit in the game. I don't have fucking simps that spend money on me like Phil does. Okay? So I'm doing this my way and able to do it just with the resources I have available to me. And you can fucking tell him. I'll tell him that. I'll tell him later. I'll link him to this video and I'll be like, listen, we went on a Phatphil rant. And he'll find it funny. Wombat trying to fucking discredit me last night, mod checking all of my characters. He's like, oh, look at your mods on this thing. Fuck you, man. My characters do what I need those characters to do. All right. Let's move on. Up by Syracuse. I used to know the area. Yeah, we have fun here. We do. Brunch is my favorite time of the week. Yeah, Yes, the Wombat guy that pulled up all the compares last night. I'm out with my wife, and he's pulling up compares and tagging me. Why? And you know what's funny about Wombat is he's actually in my guild, so I don't hate him. He's in my guild, and he's a nice guy. But I've said this before. My love language with people that I know is hate, and that's how you know that I love you. All right, we got to move on. It is time for the next one. Let's see. I'm Harry. When Harry Met Sally. Good movie. 57-15 for I'm Harry. You guys remember that time we did a duck, what did we do? Did we chicken reviews? Rooster reviews? That was a fun day. I love when people misspell things. Okay. Top 20 of your fleet arena. Top 3 are executors. The rest are negotiators from gas bundle, except me and 2 other endurance. I can beat some of the negotiators to get to the top 10 for rewards. Are you coordinating? I tried to message them, but they never respond. Yeah. Once people start to get executors, that's when people will start to respond there. Assault battles. Fanatical Devotion, CT1. Places of Plower, CT1. Others are tier 1 to 3 or not at all. Okay, interesting that Fanatical Devotion is an early one. I'm wondering if you bought the Inquisitor Lightspeed bundle, which would make sense. I'm currently rushing for Executor requirements, but only have 110 RC shards, so it will take a long time. After finishing the requirements for Executor, I will probably Relic BAM and then develop my CLS. Are you dead set? No, not dead set. That's why I'm here. For income reasons, I do want to get stronger on fleets. How highly do you value efficiency? Very highly. Favorite characters? Not really. Shards for important PG characters don't have any. So I'm going to say somewhere in like the 2 to 3 million range. Hey, mister, I appreciate that. This is my favorite time of the week. I truly look forward to brunch every week. It's just fun. It's a great vibe. I love when everybody's talkative. There are some days where nobody talks and I have to just do all of it. I enjoy when chat is lively and asking questions and saying silly things. But I truly look forward to this every single week as one of like my decompress and like therapeutic things. Okay, 2 million. Looking at this, I said 2 to 3 million. We have 2.3 million. We are still working with our endurance fleet, which works interestingly with the Marauder now. I know that, but I haven't tested it out myself. We do not have any GLs, but we are doing Places in Power and Fanatical Devotion, which is nice. That's okay. I lurk in a lot of people's streams. Let's just check some of these things. Okay, Rebels, Jedi, nothing. Ooh, let's see. I mean, if you get Revan up, I feel like you could do CT1 of Ground War with Revan lead, General Kenobi, Bastilla, Jolie, and like Jedi Knight Anakin. I remember doing that way back in the day when I really like only had Relic. Do you guys remember early in the game where like everybody's only Relic was like GMY and an R5 Jedi Knight Revan? It's a slow and steady battle at CT1, but I feel like you could manage that with this Revan if you bring him up to like G12. Allie, what are they charging for Girl Scout cookies nowadays? I actually had this conversation with my in-laws yesterday because my wife is a Gold Award recipient. Like, she went through the Girl Scouts. My mother-in-law is just recently retired from doing, like, Girl Scout troop stuff. And she was saying it was like $7 fucking now. And I was like, holy shit. $6? Okay. Did you see that Zareth and Vextron matched in GAC? I didn't see it, but I heard Zareth talking about it on Three Scoundrels. Zareth doesn't like to talk to me. I've tried to reach out to him for a few things. He just ghosts me. I don't know. He likes bones better, I guess. Let's see what's going on. Gear tracker, Jabba, Kylo, Jedi Knight Luke. Okay. Everything's going up. I get it. Everything's going up. I remember when they were $3.50 a box. And you know what's interesting is I work in a school. Girls used to ask me constantly, and my rule was I have a dojo with a lot of female students. So my rule was always I will buy one box from each person that asks me. And I used to come home with like 30 boxes of Girl Scout cookies when they were like $3.50 a box. And I still will buy one box from each person that asks me. But in the last 5 years, nobody asks me. Like, they don't come into school anymore asking teachers. Everything is online. So I have not purchased Girl Scout cookies in a while. And I don't know. We'll see if any of them ask me this year, because I think, obviously, this is right around that time. So Harry, I think you're on the right path going for Executor. Executor is a super, super, super important farm for people, and it will get you into that top 5 slot and into that top 1 slot. And that is important for anyone, whether you're a spender, whether you're not a spender. It is just a coveted spot for people, because that's 400 crystals a day, which is 4,000 in 10 days. So that becomes 12,000 crystals in a month. And that shit adds up, because that's 150,000 crystals in a year. It adds up really fucking fast, like super, super fast. You did not buy the Inquisitor bundle, but it seems like with this, you maybe bought the Tusken one. You get Phil to send me his address, and I will buy cookies to send to him. I was hoping he would send me his address. But Phatphil's a piece of shit who promised to meet me in I'm sorry, Harry. I'm really derailing your roster review. But like 6 months ago, he was supposed to meet me near Philly because my wife was going to the Renaissance Fair with a bunch of her porn friends. And I don't know if you're in this community or not, but she's big into Quinn, which is like audio porn. And all of her friends were going to this Renaissance Fair near where Phil lives, and I reached out to Phil and said, hey Phil, I really don't want to go to this thing, but if you're close and you want to go to it with and have a few beers with me there, like, I will go. And ended up going, and he forgot to get tickets. Okay, Phil. So I had to spend the day with a bunch of audio porn addicts, and I had no idea what they were talking about the entire time. But you get his address for me. I will send him cookies through your daughter's link. That is the pain point. All right, so Harry, yes, Executor, highly important. You probably bought the Tusken bundle, or you just really like the Tusken Raiders. Let's check out these guys. Oh, perfect. You've got your Rebel Officer. You have your Wampa. Start working on Hermit Yoda with your Get 1 tokens as you get those Get 1 tokens in. As you get your Get 1 tokens in, I think you're in that perfect place that we basically talk about a ton here. Hey, Yvonne. Cheers, buddy. I saw you pop in last night, and I was annoyed because I was out with my in-laws. I wanted to pop in and say hi. I have yet to derail one of your streams, which has been sad for me. Because you guys all play at normal times, and at normal times I'm not available. You're in that perfect point of the game where we're talking about like Jedi Master Luke and Jabba. So after Executor, that's really what your push should be, is going after, and it doesn't matter whether you want to do JML first, whether you want to do Jabba first. They are highly important farms, and both farms will help you in all aspects of the game. JML is going to give you military might at CT3. It's going to give you ground war at CT3. It's going to give you an amazing conquest tune. It's going to give you a great GAC and TW team. You know, some people say, oh, well, JML, he sucks on defense and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, in fucking Kyber he does, but you're not in Kyber. You have a 2 million account. Any GL fucking rocks where you are in the game right now. Give you a great team for both of those game modes. Jabba is going to give you Rebel Roundup. He's going to give you a great Conquest team, a great TB team, a great GAC team, a great TW team. He's going to give you Smuggler's Run 2, which is arguably the best event in the game. So if I had to tell you anything to do right now is work on your Jabba, work on your JML, work on Jedi Knight Luke, obviously, because you need him, while working on Executor. Now, because you only have 110 shards of Razor Crest, which was about 2 weeks ago, so I'm assuming you're a little further now. One thing that I want to talk to you about is the 3 tiers of farming, right? So you have your first tier of farming, and that's what you're relicking. You have your second tier of farming, right? And that's what you're gearing. Then you have your third tier of farming, and that is what you're shard farming. So if with Executor, your pain point right now is Razor Crest, right? And it seems like you still have some shard farming anyway to do. But after you do this shard farming, you know, and if you're still working on Razor Crest at that point, move your shard farming towards your Jedi Knight Luke stuff. You know, depending on if you want to do JML first or Jabba first, it doesn't matter. One of them should be first and then the other after that. You start to shift your shard farming to that, and your gearing stays here and your relicking stays here. So you can diversify to make sure all 3 of those farms are getting farmed up, but that should be 100% your main purpose in the game right now, is those 3 things: Executor, Jabba JML, or JML Jabba, whichever one, literally doesn't matter. We're going to go on to Harold. We got a lot of H names today. Harold and Kumar. Great movie. Let's see. Harold. I love rom-coms too, by the way. I'm a big fan of silly, dorky. I just love movies. We go every weekend to the movies. Let's see. What did I spend on? So last week I had a American Express gift card, and I hate American Express gift cards because you can never use them on anything. Lady Geek was very nice. We worked out a deal. She wanted to use it for Amazon. I sent it to her. She sent me $50, and I was like, that's fun money. I bought 2 of those packs where like you spend $19 or $20, and then you get a second pack that's only $10. So I bought that on Sunday, and then with the other $20, I bought the episode pass on Tuesday. Just because I wanted to spend the whole $50, and the episode pass is honestly just such a high value in this game with everything that it gives you. Oh, Fantasy Roma. I don't like fantasy books. You know why? Man, this is what I love. I love when we can derail the stream. I don't like fantasy books because fantasy books always name their characters like random assortments of letters, and then I can never remember any of the characters' names. And they name like towns random assortments of letters. They think about, oh, I don't want to call this character Steve, but they don't think about word structure and how vowels play well together. And they're just like, we're going to name this town Bergenschnorf. And then I don't know what fucking Bergenschnorf is. And then they go, let's name every town with a B. And now I'm just fucking confused all the time. So I don't read as much. I am in the core demographic of fantasy novels. And I just can't read them most of the time because I just cannot remember any. Like the fucking Thrawn books, which I know is sci-fi. But the second set of Thrawn books all take place in the Ascendancy, and every character's name starts with an M. And you're just like, I don't I don't know. You're all the same character to me now because you all start with the same letter. But tell me how I really feel, right? Let's move on to Harold before I get angry. But I do like, she has got me into a lot of like mystery books, and a lot of them are like romance mystery books. She tricked me into reading Verity, which was just smut. It was literally just porn in a book, and it was an interesting read. Colleen Hoover, man, like I walked out of that book like you tricked me. You just fucking tricked me. All right, let's see. Harold. Stop talking about porn and get to Harold. Now he's gonna backtrack and he's go, wait, they were talking about porn. Top 20 of your fleet arena. Mostly executors. I can get one every day. Have a Discord. Beautiful. Love it. A lot of CT3s. We're a little bit further ahead here. No Duel of the Fates. No Peridia. Finished Ezra Exile. Then Leia to Profundity to clean up. Gas NS. Duel of the Fates. So it seems like you have a really high... My wife is actually reading Fourth Wing right now. She just finished it. She's reading the second one. I don't know what it's called, but she's reading the second book. Finishing Guild Farms. Dead set on currently working on No. Most farms are fun, but hard to fit in. Pizza and Porn is a great song, man. And we're going to play it after this roster review because I am going to take a quick fill up my cup break. And it plays during our breaks. Iron Flame. Okay, yeah, she has been really enjoying them. Shards for Important. Cat and Interceptor 5-star unlocked. Most character and Interceptor 5-star. Cat close. Max. Most characters 180 of 330. All right, let's see. This is interesting because it looks like there's a lot of missing things on this account, but you have set up the ROI really nicely on it. So I'm gonna say like 7 to 8 million. If it's earlier than 7 to 8 million, I'm gonna be like, I'll be pretty impressed, to be completely honest. So a 6 million account, we have most of the ROI kind of set off already, which is really nice. I haven't looked at the account yet, but just looking at the back end of the account, I'm liking what I'm seeing. We've got Jabba, Kylo Ren, Jedi Master Luke. Okay. We have Executor. We are hitting first each day. We are working on Profundity. Profundity is kind of in that same area of the game. We've talked about the square a little bit earlier. So 980, not terrible. A lot of gearing that needs to happen here. Where is the other one? Leia. So Leia close. These are definitely farms to prioritize when you've done JML and Jabba. They don't necessarily have to be, but if you're already working on them, then awesome. Duel of the Fates, Inquisitors. Let's check this out. So we talked about not doing this for somebody else, but I would really recommend for you in the short term, get Padawan Obi-Wan and Master Qui-Gon to 5 stars. Do that pretty soon. If you do it pretty soon, over the next couple months while you're working on big things, you can let them shard farm themselves because you'll have 2 tiers of free shards. And that's super nice because they're both Cantina farms, and Cantina, if you can put off having to do a Cantina farm, and if you can not do a Cantina farm, or you can let a Cantina farm do itself, then awesome. Then like super beautiful. So I would definitely get them to 5 stars more in the short term. I want to check out where we are with Bo-Katan, right? Because we've isolated some of these farms. not too much here. Inquisitors, where is Grand Inquisitor? Okay. So finish your Inquisitors to R7. It's a guild farm. You're already mostly there. Get them up. Obviously, don't bring Second Sister past R5 because you're not going to use her anymore after this. But don't feel pressure to not relic the others to R7. You're going to need them anyway. You might as well do it while you're working on Grand Inquisitor. I don't know. Maybe you have Grand Inquisitor and he's just... Oh, you did. Okay, perfect. But work on that team to R7 because it is a guild farm and you're already mostly there. And I don't know if you're like super pumped about your guild. Actually, not a bad guild for you. I don't know if you're super pumped about your guild or whatever it is, but I tend to tell people to listen to guilds when they ask for guild farms. Because it takes a village. It really, really does. And guilds where you have players who are just like, I'm going to do whatever I want, those players really hurt everybody. And right now, you're on the lower end of your guild, so I definitely would finish them up short term. Prioritize the Duel of the Fates just to 5 stars right now. Get those guys to Relic 7. Great, love it, have it, do it, it's done. Ezra Exile. I mean, Ezra Exile is fine, but you don't have Rey, right? And you don't have Ahsoka, and those are his 2 strongest teams. You can use him with JML. He'll make the team stronger. I don't really think it's a necessary like super huge priority thing. To worry too terribly about bringing him higher and higher at this particular point. I need those 500 crystal relic packs to be coming up too, man. I have 166 carbonate circuit boards right now, and it blows. Like, I need those circuit boards so bad right now. Dead set on continuing farms. That's all shored up. Hey, Stub. We might get to it today. Actually, yours is next, so I will. Do you want me to skip it? It's up to you. But I won't be around next week because I'm going to my niece's 3rd birthday party. But if you want me to do it and you'll watch it later, that's, just let me know what you'd prefer. Go back here. You're already getting first each day, so I think that I would prioritize Leia over Profundity. But again, I really do think it's important to follow guild farms a little bit. Let's see, 501st. You have, all right, so finishing gas is really just about gearing. Night Sisters is a great team. I get it. I wouldn't really put them too much higher just yet. Mine are all R8. I love the team. They're one of my favorite teams because of how they perform in the game modes that I like. But I do think that they'll primarily do what you need them to do outside of TB, obviously. Without more investment. And I think that you have more important things. I don't know if your guild is more heavily focusing Zepho or Mandalore right now. That's really up to your guild. Mandalore is nice because it's an easier battle. Zepho can be more important just because it's a harder battle and you need more people that are able to do it. So I would say... do that little Duel of the Fates trick that I told you about before. Work on your Grand Inquisitor, get that team up to R7. I would probably go after Jedi Knight Cal Kestis after that, and then I would strongly go Leia into Profundity. Gas, you can finish him up. You already have him, there. You already have him. You just need to gear him so you can finish him up. Again, I would not prioritize your Night Sisters right now. Duel of the Fates, again, I would just prioritize it to 5 stars right now and then let them shard farm themselves. And then Inquisitors, yes, is primary to R7. So I think that's basically what you need to work on. Cat, not really a priority, right? Like, Cat is great, but you don't really have a strong squad for her now. Yeah, she can be thrown with, like, Padme, and she does fine. She can be thrown with Rey, but you don't have Rey. JMK, look, it's a maybe is a hot take, but I don't think it's a priority farm for people because it's a great, amazing team, but it doesn't offer you much in terms of your account ROI. So that's where I think that I would go right now. Duel of the Fates, Poncho Bros, yes. I would just bring him to 5 stars right now with where this guy is, to get the 2 tiers and let them farm themselves while you're working on more important things. Once you have them at 7 stars, or once a lot of these important farms are out of the way and you want to bring some of that relic material there, you can. I do think it is an important assault battle, but I do think that you have better things to worry about, especially with Cantina farms just being such a Cantina energy just being such an important resource to a player like you. So that is where I would go with it. Oh my god. Every Separatist, you're one of those. I know a lot of people who are Seppi fans, who are big Seppi fans. I know, sadly, quite a few. We're going to take a very quick break right now so that I can fill up my coffee cup, take a quick bathroom break, and we'll try to get to 1 or 2 more roster reviews before the day is out. So give me 2 minutes and I will be right back. And enjoy some pizza and porn. All right, we are back. I hope you enjoyed your pizza. Hope you enjoyed your porn. Allie, with your R9 trench, I just am going to show you this specifically because you like Phil better than me, which I get. Like, he's a nice guy and a piece of shit, but a nice guy. My trench is R5. He is only R5 because my community demanded I bring him to R5 as part of a poll. He will not go past R5. He will not get better mods than this. He will sit on my bench. I have literally never used the team even a single time. Not even once. I have never put him on anything. Not on offense, not on defense. He is only in my favorite characters right now because I randomly selected a bunch of relict characters to favorite so that I could cheat the store daily deals and make them give me more signal data. Oh my god, that's true, that's fair. When Trench is required for something at R10, then yes, I will bring Trench to R10 because I am a simp for that. Oh my god, look at how little my guild has done. What a bunch of piece of shits. These motherfuckers with just lazy ass, doing nothing. Goddamn. Like, we lost. Wonderful. That's fine. And we will get our one droid brain. Right? Though, I'm getting decent amount of droid brains from those two assault battles. But let's move on, shall we? We've got... Yeah, did Wombat not do his fucking TW? Piece of shit. Hold on. Wombat did shit. Can you just fucking tag him and be like, Wombat, do your fucking shit? Come on. Well, he's banished from successful attacks, 46. Where am I? 39. No, I can't yell at him because he's done more than me. Yeah, I don't give a shit about TW, and I did have a few losses this time. Some losses that shouldn't have happened, but I always knew we were going to lose, so it doesn't matter. Let's see. Harold. We did Harold. Stubbe. We're on to Stubbe, who is not here because he has stuff that needs to happen today. But he gave us the green light to go on. So let's say like 129.00. Now, Stubbe is someone who... Man, Stubbe has just... He gives me so much information, right? Like, he has this whole thread where he just... This was his last roster review. And I had to read a fucking Ayn Rand novel to do his review for him. And we're back again. So let's see. Our update got to 10.5 million, switched payouts, getting first in Fleets Daily, switched guilds, getting Zephyl Mandalore, no push on Reva to R7. No push on Reva to R7? Interesting. Got Jabba and Leia up and running, Leviathan unlocked, 4 stars, but can take 7 profundity in GAC, so no need to rush. Okay. I agree with you here. Although Leviathan is mostly locked behind 7 stars, you really don't need to jump to 7 stars if your current farm is already doing that. However, one thing that I will say is I would maybe recommend doing 1 or 2 refreshes per month, because you don't want to get caught in a situation where, and I don't know how many crystals you normally keep on your account. I try to keep over 30,000 for big things. But you don't want to get in a situation, if you're someone who doesn't keep a lot of crystals on your account, where you need Leviathan like right away and you now need to spend 20,000 crystals that you don't have. So it might be worth doing like one refresh a month just to speed it up a little bit. That's the way that I look at fleets. Pushed BB pilots to G12, enough to counter Executor, PO triple. Yeah, I gotta learn that counter. Unlocked BKM, pushing her up. Got Reva Inquisitors to R5. Still need Zetas. All Conquest characters except QA unlocked. I'll get her by November, December. Raid teams getting 4.25 million chests. I gotta pass on Gungans. No QA till December. AB still didn't get Poncho Bros or Peridia. Still working on them. Otherwise CT3 except... oh my god, that sucks. I remember being in a guild, like, before I was before I was Egnards. And we would never get the 25 to do TW. So I didn't even know, like, I was like, oh, we're going to maybe get 25 this time. And it never happened. And that was when I needed to leave guilds. I plan to work on Poncho Bros once they become accelerated around May 2025. I mean, maybe that's an option for you now, but at 10.5 million GP, it's something that I probably would have prioritized a little bit earlier. Duel of the Fates is just such a solid investment for people. Assault battles, mostly CT3, Lover Boys first tier only, Paw Patrol first and second tier. Your trick with auto worked. Yes, so those of you that don't know my trick, Paw Patrol, the Peridia Patrol Assault Battle, for some reason, people have trouble manualing it, and it's just so much easier on auto. So if you're struggling with it, just hit it on auto. You gave me a review 6 months ago, it came back. I've closed most. Let's see your opinion on the obvious gaps in the roster. I brought it up to 10.5 million. Currently, I'm finishing BKM. Okay, so a lot of the same information. I'm slow farming shards for Peridia and Balin. See thread for details. I don't remember seeing anything about oh, here we go. See, this guy gives me so much information. I read that as you sharded Obi-Wan, and I was like, I'm sorry. BKM, pushing to R7 now for Mandalore mission. Awesome, great. It's not a hard mission. It's great extra stuff for your guild. Get Ben Solo, Darkseid Rey, Ezra Exile to Relic 5 minimum. Are they here? Oh, here they are. Okay. Ben Solo, Peridia and Balin shards. I'll focus Cantina farms once the others are ready. I have said this a lot on my stream when it comes to Cantina farms. Now, this is just a psychological trick, because whether you do them as a focus or whether you do them slowly, the timeline is relatively going to be the same. But my trick that works for me is if I know I have a Cantina farm, I start it as early as possible, but I do not do all 3 refreshes a day on, I don't do all 3 refreshes a day on that Cantina farm, because I hate being cut off from signal data for that long, right? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, depending on how much energy that farm takes. I hate it. It sucks. It's such a pain point. I can't upgrade anything else in my roster. So what I typically do, if I can, right? If it's a priority farm, yes, I'll cut things off. It's the only thing left. I'll cut everything off and I'll go for it. If it's not hey, other things need to be done first, I will do my 3 refreshes a day on signal data. And then when I get my midday energy, my like 2 p.m. where you get Cantina energy, you'll have about like 90 to 95 energy. And I'll do those 3 to like 9 battles, whatever it is, again, depending on what the farm is on that character. And that way, by the time that character becomes a priority need, I'm cutting off my signal data for a much shorter amount of time. Again, this is just a psychological trick because it's really the same thing. But for me, I feel better doing that because I can still upgrade other things in the interim while I'm waiting. I just hate cutting off signal data for long periods of time. So that's just like a small recommendation when you're saying, hey, I need to get like Morgan and Great Mothers or whatever else. You just do your 5 battles a day so that when you have to, because you're cutting off for 2 16 energy nodes, and it sucks. It sucks to do. It feels a little bit better, in my opinion, doing it my way. Are you dead set on current farms? Not at all. Open to anything. How highly do you value efficiency? 95% efficiency. Plenty, but I plan to grow my account. I play to grow my account. Shards for any important PGs. I'm only missing QA. Watching too much Nooch. I know you're one of Nooch's mods. Like I said, on Phil's members area. I got nothing against Nooch. I've been chatting with him a little bit more recently. He is a nice guy. He's friendly. But I don't spend a lot of time watching content just because I don't have the time. I do like popping into people's streams, though, and just saying hi and chatting for 10-15 minutes if I can. Let's see. Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. This is Harold's account. We already know that Stubbe is at 10.5 million and hitting rank 1, which is beautiful. Our collection, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to check out these boys. Okay, now, here's the thing about the boys. 3 months ago, if you posted this, I would have said, no, you need this immediately. The Duel of the Fates assault battle is such a strong ROI, and there's so many great things in it, and it's a beautiful, beautiful assault battle for so many reasons. It gives you so many credits for buying mods. The mod tier is like a mini Smuggler's Run. The R9 stuff, it becomes a net positive after a very short amount of time. The relic materials are nice, but it doesn't really matter to me. There is some signal data, I believe, which is also nice. You've left a lot on the table. I mean, it sucks to say, because I understand they will become accelerated very soon. And it sucks to burn crystal Cantina energy when you have so many Cantina energy things coming up. So wherever these farms are, just like I told the last guy, I would really strongly consider at least getting them to 5-star before the next event. So that over the next couple of months, while you're farming them, while you're getting them, while you're putting them off, at least you're getting 2 tiers worth of free shards, which will over time mean much less Cantina energy is being wasted. I get not bringing them to 7 stars right now because of how soon they will be accelerated, but that would be my suggestion with them. Anytime I can not Cantina farm, I am going to not Cantina farm as much as I possibly can. I want to see Inquisitors. It's interesting. So you have Riva, right? Yeah, you have Third Sister. KOM Prime, 590. Okay, so pretty much everybody has Third Sister, so you really don't need to bring them to R7 for the event. It's not going to really help your guild. I find them to be an infinitely useful team, like in all aspects of this game. So it kind of sucks to see them just at R5 kind of lingering. But if they're doing what you need them to do for you, then fine, you know. But like when we talk about like guild priorities, I don't know what your guild priority is, but they're great in TB2. Ooh, doing 40 stars, nice. Let's see. Gear tracker. Missing Lord Vader, but I mean, you're not that far off. Star Killer, Jar Jar, Leia. Got most of our stuff. We said we are working on slow farming shards for Peridia and Balin. Let's see what these boys are looking like. Okay. All right. So these guys are in good order. They're kind of where they need to be at least, which is nice. Again, the ROI on Peridia Patrol is not as high as it is for Duel of the Fates for the Lover Boys. But I've said this to a lot of people, and it seems like your roster view is just becoming a PSA for everybody. CG has opened the floodgates on R9 materials. They have given it to us now in the episode pass, the paid one. They have given it to us now in 2 assault battles. Higher TB does give you some R9 stuff, but it's nothing to write home about. I really think that they are signaling a stronger importance on R9. And especially with your guild being 40 stars in TB, you're going to start being asked to do shitty R9s for platoons. You're going to start being asked to have R8 and R9 squads for battles. We have already seen multiple kits that have relic modifiers in them. I think Balin has one. I think Shin has one. I know Master Qui-Gon has one. Jar Jar Binks has one. I just think it's smart to start your ROI journey on those things as early as possible, even if it's going to take 2 years or 3 years to see that return. I got these guys in November to R9, and while it hurt to spend that much signal data, I am already starting to see a buildup of R9 materials. And obviously it's not a positive ROI yet, but they're not something that I'm hurting for. So I would definitely strongly consider these guys. Definitely finish up BKM. Yeah, I mean, the holes in your roster, other than those 2 assault battles, there really aren't. You're kind of there. You're at a nice area of the game where you can make choices that you want to make now. You know, that's a nice place to be in, where you don't have to worry about building up certain things because of certain other things. Want to see these. I will tell you that your Night Sisters, if you mod them correctly, I hate giving Phatphil credit here, but if you just mod her for really just super high health, like I have all 6E mods with health on them on her. I think I even have an arrow that is a health arrow. And you mod these guys all for like speed. You know, so Talzin, Daka, Marin, I used Ventress and Zombie. You probably can do Secrets and Shadows at CT3. I've seen lesser teams, lesser relics able to do it, but it is a pain in the ass, and it might just not be worth your time. Kind of the same thing with Fanatical Devotion. It is a pain in the ass to do CT3. And, you know, with your modding right now, well, she's pretty well modded. They're not bad at all. Actually, you wouldn't have her in there. Grand Inquisitor. Yeah, I mean, they're not terribly modded. I think just relic levels. You probably can do it with a couple of retries. The only thing that sucks about it is very slow. And then in phase 5, you get face fucked and you're like, oh shit, like I can't do this anymore. But where you are in the game, because you're at a point where you can make these choices, it is hard to tell you, hey, this is what to do, this is what to do, this is what to do. You don't have that need anymore. So if you want to go for Balin and Peridia, go for Balin and Peridia. My only suggestions would strongly be, you know, get the lover boys to 5 stars right now so that you can get more shards while you're focusing on other things. Prioritize the Peridia patrol so that you can start building ROI on that. R7 seems to be the tier a lot of people stop at. I'm telling you, R9. I just see the writing, and people will thank me when they are in that position, and a year and a half from now when they start getting those materials more often. Balin, you know, we're probably not going to see him for another 2 to 3 months at this point. I think he just came back a month ago when I got him. I will say that Balin is really great as a JMK counter. I do use him often. He is not super strong outside of GAC. I use him in TB, but basically because of the Marok Omicron. And I only use him in phases 1 and 2 because then I use Marok with my Inquisitors. Outside of those projects, I would really start considering, you know, bringing some relic. Well, it should be 1 month then, but who the fuck knows? You remember Grand Inquisitors was like 6 months between the second and third appearance. I'd really start focusing on bringing some stuff to higher relic levels because your guild, I know, my guild's at 42 stars, and you're at a position where you're preloading a lot, and one new team that can do 3 different combat missions over 3 days amplifies the amount that they're helping, right? So if I get Ahsoka, for example, and well, I have Ahsoka, but if I get Ahsoka to R8, she will allow me to do 1 new combat mission in 3 different phases. So that means essentially like 4 to 5 million extra in combat GP because of the preload that we do. And you're kind of at that point where you have to balance these projects that you're working on while also slowly building up things so that you can help your guild a little bit more. I would say consider Lord Vader because you've already done most of the hard work by getting Bad Batch, you know, primarily to G12. So you're really, this is not that far off from him. And he's, in my opinion, the second strongest conquest character in the game. He, you know, when used correctly is great in GAC, but he does require a team with high relics. That's really the only way to get him to work correctly. And yeah, in TB, he autos a ton for me. He autos things in phase 1, phase 2. He autos things on Dathomir for me. He's a little less reliable when I put him on Haven class because I don't have a solid Empire team, but he still does really nicely on like Kessel. He does really nicely on Mandalore for me. But I would just stay the course, man. But considering leveraging the different levels of projects. You know, I think you're on the right track, but again, you're at a point where it sucks to say, it sucks to see somebody go, but I don't think you need me too much anymore. You know, you've built up a lot, and it's really just about leveraging what your guild needs versus kind of what you want to do at this point. So my little girl is all grown up and saving China, and it's nice to see that kind of thing happen. It's nice to see these people get where they need to be. What's my favorite TB Omi? Sitting on way too many Omicrons and nothing to apply them on. Oh my goodness, let's do this. They were talking about this on Three Scoundrels a few weeks ago, and I was so fucking pissed off that Phatphil was on that episode, because that piece of shit doesn't have any of them. And he doesn't know what he's like. Actually, he does know what he's talking about to some extent, but like, that's my bread and butter. It depends on the teams that you have, obviously, but I will tell you this. Where are they? My Gungans. Tarpal's Omicron. It allows me to auto on every single day of TB. That includes on the R9 planet on Ring of Kafrene, and I can auto Ring of Kafrene fairly reliably, even with no platoons. It is an amazing Omicron. The nice thing, again, because the raid is going to be delayed at least 3 months at this point, they are still a raid team. And if you increase them a little bit, you know, you're going to still get some raid use, and they are amazing, amazing, amazing in TB. Unfortunately, they are not amazing in TB without the Captain Tarpal's Omicron. Where is it? Inquisitors. Marok's Omicron is fucking nuts. This thing is silly as all hell, and my Marok isn't even really that greatly modded yet. It is a beautiful... Oh, I was really hoping for something there. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Omicron. I use it in days 1 and 2 with Balin for like the Kira special mission and the young Lando CM, which I don't have to do, but I do anyway. He just deletes things. When you put him with Inquisitors in days 3, 4, and 5, like they just explode. Things just blow up. It is so fun to watch. It is so overpowered. It is silly. Imperial Remnants. I'm told that Enoch under DTMG lead doesn't even need the Omicron. I cannot speak to that because I have the Omicron. But because you're bringing these 3 characters to R9 anyway, right, and Scout to R7 anyway, one of my next projects is bringing Scout to R8 and possibly Scout and Dark Trooper to R9, because Captain Enoch also has a silly Omicron. Now, Dark Trooper is not the best character for that squad. I picked a Dark Trooper because I already had him at R5, and he would be useful to me in GAC with a normal Imperial Troopers team. So I figured, what the hell? He always dies, obviously, because he does not benefit from the Omicron in the same way. But it doesn't matter. They still win every single time. I have not lost with that team yet. Obviously, an errant crit could screw them up. I haven't seen that happen just yet. Those are my 3 most solid picks. Now, I do not have this Omicron right now. I am told that Finn's Omicron is just silly. Like, literally just silly. And that he blows shit up in like 20 seconds. Again, I don't have it. I cannot speak to it. But this is what I do hear from a lot of people. So if you use the resistance a lot, they can be useful. My resistance is not really as high relic as the rest of my characters. So I'm not in a position where I'm like, hey, this makes sense to do that Omicron. And I also, you know, my Ray squad, I don't kind of use anywhere else. Can you do the Kira special mission without Marok? I have heard you can do it with Ray lead. I've heard that Ray there works on auto. I have not tried. I've never tried it. I slot. Yeah, I'll show you what I do. Squads, day 1, right? So I have all my squads set up. This is my Kira squad. Kira, Young Han, Marok Shinhati, and Balin Skull. It's just those three. I slot them in, I hit auto. So far, it has not lost for me. So far, it does exactly what I need this team to do, and I am happy. The first time I did it, Balin was not super well modded. Now he's obviously a little bit more well modded than he was before. But I set up things for every single day so that I know what's going on and so that I know what can and can't be used. Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, listen, it depends on what you want to do. Windmill Defense does make... No, not Windmill Defense. Whirlwind Slam does make the Zepho opening mission a little bit more reliable. So for me, it is a quality of life thing that I did. It is not necessary if you really mod them correctly. I do like the leadership ability, though, because it does make Zepho itself, the open CM with just Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, it makes it autoable with like semi-decent characters. You don't need amazing characters, but you do need characters that are pretty decent. So for me, it's a really, really nice Omicron. Which one a player should invest in or build for their account is largely going to depend on their accounts. But I would say that those are the front runners for some of the top Omicrons. I would honestly love to. I know Old Man Logan was talking about this on Three Scoundrels. I would love to apply Cassian's Omicron. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad, but I like things that are silly. And his Omicron just looks silly, like stupid and silly and fun. So I kind of like want to, but I don't have the materials to waste on that, and I have no idea how good or bad it is. Each encounter all rebel allies. Yeah, I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad, but I would love to one day have the resources to be able to apply it. Yeah, that's sad to hear, man. It really is. I wonder, though, if there's a Cassian mission on day 5, I think. I wonder if it helps on that mission, but it's going to be a long time until I can apply that because I do not have the money to buy Omicrons, which means that even though I did buy, I did not buy that. Even though I did buy the episode track this time, which gives a nice set of Omicrons, I cannot afford to buy this every single month. One that does look really silly for the future that I do plan on getting when I eventually get this team, the Wrecker Omicron looks silly. It looks like it is going to make this team maddening in TB. And I already have isolated like, hey, I am getting this when it is time to get this. But I've got some time to worry about that because not even a single one of them is yet usable to me. So I want to do one more. I want to do one more review today because this is actually a review that I can't really do yet. But I don't want to leave this person hanging. Right? So I do want to talk about this account a little bit. So this is Messasithlord. Let's get on to Discord. No, Discord. So, Messasithlord, we're unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do a real roster review for this account, but I, again, don't want to leave this person hanging. Top 20 of the fleet, Home 1, Executrix, and Endurance. I'm not talking or coordinating. I haven't done any assault battles. I'm currently farming Captain Rex. I'm working on 7-starring TIE Fighter Pilot and kind of set on my farms. Not entirely sure what farm. For instance, if Star Killer is one, I would love to have him. I don't really have a favorite character. A Phatphil roster review. Let's look at Phatphil's. Let's do it after this. Let's look at Phatphil's account just for fun. So Messasithlord, I knew that I was not going to be able to do this one from the beginning because it is a 200,000 galactic power account. And I am going to tell you that the early game is not something that I have done in so many years that I just don't have good targeted advice for a player at this level. And it's unfortunate. What I will tell you is that some midterm goals for you is making sure that you can get into the top of your fleet arena. It is never something that should ever be forgotten about. And that's why a lot of guides tell people to rush for Executor, because it is the quickest thing that you can do in order to get your fleets higher. I would probably say that if I were to give you a long-term guide, that Executor, JML, and Jabba are really amazing and solid things that you should be doing and focusing on. These are the two pieces of advice I am going to give you. Number one, always think of a 3-layer strategy with your farming. Okay, always think of a 3-layer strategy with your farming. And right now you're so early game that you probably can only do 1 or 2 of these layers, but as you over the next couple weeks, you should be able to get to 3 layers, right? Your primary farm is what you are relicking. Your secondary farm is what you are gearing. And your tertiary farm is what you are shard farming. Right now, you're probably doing a little bit of all 3 and really don't have, I'm assuming, any relics. Yeah. So you're not even talking about 3 layers yet. You're just talking about 2. But that's going to change over the next 3 or 4 months as you get a little bit higher into the game. The better advice that I can give you is go check out Darth Loquitur. I don't have his details offhand. If someone wants to link it in the chat, his YouTube channel, Darth Loquitur is the master of the early game. He is also one of the nicest content creators I have ever had. I have not had an in-depth talk with him, but one of the nicest people I have ever talked to. I happed upon one of his streams because someone thought he was fighting me in GAC, but it didn't end up being me. It was someone else called Egnards. And it wasn't advanced because this was months ago. And I just listened to him for like a half hour while I was cooking dinner, and he's just so positive and he's so friendly and he's just such a light in the content creation world for this game and just the creators in general. He knows his early game stuff. He is after I listened to that stream, I think I was already a relatively positive person, and okay, so SWGOH player just linked a very long link to his channel, if you see that when watching this, but, and ask someone in our Discord, right? Because our Discord, we have, you won't be able to link his Discord because of porn bots. We had to shut off linking Discords because of porn bots, but they'll be able to link his YouTube channel. I have modeled my ability to be more positive just after seeing him and going, wow, I love this guy so much. He is the person to go to. His guides for early game are the guides that you need to trust. My expertise starts at like the 2 to 4 million range when you're starting to talk about big projects. Right now, you are working towards small projects to get to those big projects. So again, I wish I could be more helpful to you. He is the person you want to go to. He will not steer you wrong. He knows his shit about that part of the game. And if I can give anyone who is a creator advice here, don't be afraid to say you don't know something. All right? Don't be afraid. Don't feel like you always need an answer for people. I just don't know this part of the game very well. Go to the person who knows this part of the game very well. I hope, if nothing else, just that itself is helpful to you. With that said, Automod held Snorquest's message because, and I can't even allow it, Snorquest, but it held it for sex-based terms. And I want to read it, Snorquest, because it's the funniest thing in the world, and it's about the Cassian Omicron, and I think it's hilarious. It'd be good in Hoth TB as an early player, but it bites you in the butt as you lose his stellar grenade skill, and I feel that he loses his R1 tag as well. I just think it's funny that Automod took that. But according to the Omicron, it doesn't take his R1 tag. According to the Omicron, he keeps all of his tags. Whether that's happening or not, I don't know. The Omicron itself says that he keeps all of his tags plus gets the other tags. Now, why does it matter that he gets all of the other tags? I don't know. It doesn't make sense because the other tags, he has to be in a full R1 team. So the other tags don't really seem useful for him. Yes, Ani, it is good life advice. If you don't know something, don't be afraid to say, I don't know. I think we live in a world right now where people they just don't, they're like, whatever. I have to always know everything, and it causes us a ton of problems. So, with that said, let's pop someone else onto the docket here before we head out today. We're going to go, 208? Our last one for the day. Let's look at Phatphil's account. Phatphil. 12.3 million account. I'm 12.8. If he does, then, I mean, that's semi-awesome if that also happens, but that usually isn't tag-based. That's usually enemy or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe he does. He's 12.3. I'm 12.8. If he starts to lie and say that 500,000 in GP is actually useful and that I'm picking on the smaller player, it's a lie. It's like 5% and it's meaningless. It's all the lower end characters that I bring up for literally no reason. Yeah, so we're looking at this scrub account and we will tag him in this too. He likes to R9 his shit because he's a GAC player. Listen, now I'm starting to R9 characters because I need them for ROTE. I'm assuming that he brought Jabba to R9 for ROTE because the Vandor CM is actually relatively easy. R9 JML can go fuck himself. I'm assuming Leia is a tank, so he was like, oh, Leia's a tank, I have to bring her to R9. He did bring the whole team, it looks like, though. So at least he's able to use that team. At least, no. What are you doing here, man? Get that whole team. What a piece of shit. I cannot fault him for his ridiculous R9 Wampa because obviously I have R9 Gungans. I will say, if I had just a single character that I loved, I would make sure to have perfect mods on him. Right? Like this thing right here, this square, rectangle, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, it can't have offense % because that's its modifier on the top. But like, the fuck are you doing with +9 speed? I know Wampa doesn't need the +25 speed, but if you're gonna really call yourself like, this is my favorite character, you gotta have like mods to back that shit up, right? So I'm kind of surprised and embarrassed, secondhand embarrassed by this mod over here. And I know he's gonna come at me and he's gonna be like, well, blah, 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 I have % stats, and go fuck yourself. I'm like, you're really not gonna work on, like, isn't Phatphil's whole thing, I hate flat stats. Flat stats are the worst fucking thing in the world. He's got a 16 health with flat offense on it. Like, go out there, find yourself a health mod that has offense percent on it and speed on it, and make your Wampa like the king of fucking Wampas that you want it to be. Like, it's ridiculous. I agree, Daniel. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, you call yourself the Wampa. You have Wampa as your flagship character. You have all this Wampa paraphernalia, right? And you think like, oh, I'm gonna get away with these scrub mods. And I will remind you that this motherfucker is going up in flames after I beat the shit out of you in TB. I am very excited to light this fucker on fire. I cannot wait to show you down. His Wampa isn't king. His Wampa's a fucking jester. Like, come on. Like, I'm so surprised that we don't have all five stat offense, percent offense secondaries on your flagship character. Right? You look at, my Gungans, I have to farm 5 characters for my Gungans, and my Gungans mods are fucking stellar because I give a shit about my Gungans. Oh, we're burning the Wampa if I win. Yes. Wampa is getting burned. Let's see. What are we missing on this account? Look at this. As a 12.3 million account, this motherfucker still has characters who are accelerated, who are at 3 stars. I know it's a Cantina farm. I know, like, oh, I don't want to lose my signal data. How can you have a 12.3 million account and you still have accelerated characters who are not farmed? Again, embarrassing. Are Tuscans the most amazing team in the world? No, they're not. But they're a good team. They work really well about the niche things that they work on, or they work well on. I am surprised by the amount of characters that he still has at, like, not even G12. You are a player who is in a 43 star TB guild. You have Mandalore unlocked. You have Zepho unlocked, right? And none of this gear should matter to you. Like, the bottom of your account, the only characters, you have level 1 fucking characters on your guild. What did you say to me? Hold on. How much? Like, you are your problem in your guild. You are your problem. This right here, when we talk about the 500,000 extra GP that I have, that is bringing these guys to level 85. Why are they not level 85 yet? You know, why are these characters not G12 yet? Especially like Guardian and Ewok Scout, who don't need any Chirotech. You don't need any of that fucking gear. And I bet that there are other people in your guild who do the same shit as you. And I know last time you were bitching at me that you only got 43 because somebody like didn't show up and they couldn't deploy, right? But if everybody in your guild like actually built up their characters to G12, which is not hard for someone in your place. I know how much gear you have. I know how much gear I have. If everybody in your guild just did their part to not have a shitty bottom end of their account, you would have hit 44 stars last time. That's quite literally embarrassing to me. As someone who thinks, and he's at the low end of his, look at this shit. He's being carried by his guild. He's in like the bottom. It's ridiculous. Let's see. We have more people that just do not. Oh no, see, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's like, let me get my shit up because I need to actually help my guild. Good job, Mace. Same thing. Like, the top end of your guild knows what they're doing. You would have got 44 stars last time. This guy knows what he's doing, but like Armorer, Tuscan Chieftain, Tuscan Warrior. But I'm not here to shit on them. I'm here to shit on Phil, right? And Phil, I know I gave him a lot of shit about he gives me a lot of shit about my TB Omicrons, right? And he talks about how he's better at GAC than me. TB Omicrons are cheating. You have like 4 of them. No, I think I have 5. TB Omicrons are cheating. You have 5 of them. How can you have this amazing, like, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? I'm so much better at GAC than you. Look at all these GAC Omicrons. Look at them. GAC, 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 GAC. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Where is he getting all of these Omicrons from? It's from spending. It's because he buys that pass every month. He pretends that he's a free-to-play / light spender, right? All these Omicrons. He talks about being better than me, but like, come on. Fucking Admiral Akbar. Come on. Guys, this is TB Omicron erasure. He is attempting to discredit me while he does the same thing in another game mode. Embarrassing. Let's see. Did I not? What a fucking loser. Doesn't even have 3 on Jar Jar. Like, come on. You call yourself a content creator and you haven't fully invested in your Jar Jar Binks. Oh my god. This piece of shit. Still, what was this? 6 million? Why is it some days he's just like, I'm gonna check out and not even do shit for my guild? Right? He's gonna make... I know his guild does better than my guild in the raid. I understand that. But he's not even consistent. At 7.2, he's making people carry him through things. Right? When he could be doing better. It's... Like, come on, guys. I can't spell it out for you anymore. Failed Skull, decent. Let's see. Yeah, good. Man, I just, let's see these in first order. It's so weird too when I see, like, especially as an ROTE guild, when I see a team that isn't even fully R8 yet, like, why would you have just some of them R8? Like, make the team usable. What's the point? All I'm saying is that Phatphil needs to get his shit together, and his guild is carrying him, and he really needs to bring this shit up, right, so that he can actually effectively help his guild in some way. That's all I'm saying about it, man. Men and women, because I know there are men and women here today. We're going to end on that, because I don't want to embarrass him any further. Let's see what's going on here in Twitch land. Can you smell what Egnards is cooking? Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Anybody streaming this game? Oh god, I gotta hear my own voice. Gross. I don't want to hear that. It looks like I'm the only one streaming this game right now, which seems to be more and more normal, but I see the Lost Womp Rat on. So when we raid out, we are going to raid out to the Lost Womp Rat. I don't know. I don't like, comment, subscribe. I don't say that shit. That's a Phatphil thing because he needs people to like him or something. But we're gonna raid out to the Lost Swamp Rat. Like, once again, we are almost definitely, unfortunately, not going to have a we're not going to have a brunch next weekend just because I'm going upstate to see my niece. It's her third. It was actually her third birthday this week, but they're doing her birthday party next week. And I don't get to see my family a lot because they live very far. My brother lives in Korea. My sister lives upstate. My brother lives upstate. So anytime I can have a chance to go upstate and see them, I do that. I appreciate you guys joining me for brunch. Make sure to stir the pot a little bit more because fuck you, Phatphil. I love everybody else. Have a great rest of your weekend.